NBA DFS picks and strategy for Wednesday, February 11th. Breaking down the 14-game slate ahead of the All-Star break. Wednesday's NBA schedule brings one of the largest daily fantasy slates of the season, with 14 games on the board and a 10-game main slate tipping off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. With the All-Star break beginning on Friday, this slate presents a unique mix of high-scoring matchups, injury-driven value, and potential blowout risks that DFS players must carefully navigate. Large slates like this reward strong roster construction and smart game selection. With ownership spread thin across many teams, identifying the right combination of elite scorers, stable mid-range options, and low-cost value plays can be the difference between cashing and falling behind the field. Below is a full breakdown of the slate, including game environments, top DFS targets, tournament upside plays, and salary-saving options. Slate overview and game environments. Several games on Wednesday feature large point spreads, signaling potential blowout concerns. Boston is favored by more than 13 points against Chicago. Cleveland enters as a massive favorite against Washington, and Orlando is double-digit favorites hosting Milwaukee. While these matchups carry risk, they can still produce strong fantasy performances from star players before games get out of hand. From a scoring standpoint, two matchups clearly stand out. Minnesota versus Portland and Boston versus Washington both carry slate-high totals above 237 points. These games offer strong fantasy environments, especially for players who thrive in fast-paced, offensive-heavy situations. On the opposite end, Clippers versus Rockets and Pacers versus Nets project as slower-paced contests with lower totals, making them less appealing for DFS builds outside of select value plays. Understanding these environments is critical, especially on a slate this large. Core DFS plays Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards enters Wednesday in outstanding form. Over his last 6 games, he has been one of the league's top scorers, averaging over 30 points per contest while consistently contributing rebounds, assists, and defensive stats. His fantasy output has matched his on-court dominance, topping 50 fantasy points in 4 of those games. Edwards draws an ideal matchup against Portland in a game tied for the highest total on the slate. The Trailblazers have struggled defensively all season, especially on the perimeter, and Edwards already proved he can dominate this matchup after scoring 41 points against them earlier this year. With his usage, athleticism, and scoring upside, Edwards profiles as one of the strongest overall plays on the slate for both cash games and tournaments. Jalen Brunson, New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson has been on an offensive tear. He has scored at least 40 points in 2 of his last 4 games and exceeded 60 fantasy points in both of those performances. His shot volume has been elite, attempting 20 or more shots in 4 straight contests. Brunson faces Philadelphia in a game expected to remain competitive, which is key for DFS purposes. Close games ensure full minutes and sustained usage, and Brunson has historically performed well against the 76ers. Across 3 meetings this season, he has averaged strong scoring and playmaking numbers. With elite usage, consistent minutes, and a favorable game script, Brunson remains a top-tier DFS option with slate-breaking potential. Cash game targets Jamie Jaquez Jr., Miami Heat. Miami enters Wednesday dealing with several injuries to key offensive players. With multiple high-usage options ruled out or questionable, the Heat will need to lean on secondary scorers to fill the gap. Jamie Jaquez Jr. is positioned to benefit the most. He has shown the ability to score, rebound, and create offense when given extended opportunities. With a likely increase in minutes and usage, Jaquez offers a strong floor for cash games while still maintaining upside. In a slate full of uncertainty, his role stability makes him one of the safest mid-range options available. Kelly Oubre Jr., Philadelphia 76ers. Kelly Oubre Jr. has stepped into a consistent role with Philadelphia during Paul George's absence. Over the past several games, Oubre has logged heavy minutes and delivered steady fantasy production across multiple categories. His defensive activity boosts his floor, while his scoring remains reliable in competitive matchups. Against New York, Oubre should again see significant run in a close game environment. For DFS players seeking balance and stability in the mid-tier, Oubre fits perfectly. GPP in tournament targets Kevin Porter Jr., Milwaukee Bucks. Kevin Porter Jr. recently returned from injury and has immediately reclaimed a major role in Milwaukee's offense. He has played without a minutes restriction and has been filling the stat sheet with points, assists, rebounds, and steals. Despite Milwaukee entering as underdogs against Orlando, Porter's usage remains secure. He has been one of the team's most productive players since returning, and his ability to contribute across categories gives him a strong ceiling. Porter carries some risk due to the matchup, but his upside makes him an excellent tournament option at moderate ownership. Jaden Ivey, Chicago Bulls. Jaden Ivey remains a high-risk, high-reward DFS play. While Chicago faces a tough matchup against Boston, Ivey's role has quietly grown. He has averaged solid minutes and consistently produced steals, which can quickly boost fantasy scores. With another key guard likely sidelined, Ivey should continue to see steady playing time. His defensive stats provide sneaky upside, making him a viable tournament option despite the challenging game environment. Value plays to monitor Andre Drummond, Philadelphia 76ers. Andre Drummond becomes one of the top value plays on the slate if Joel Embiid is ruled out. When starting, Drummond remains a strong per-minute producer capable of piling up rebounds, blocks, and easy points around the rim. He has previously logged extended minutes against New York and delivered strong fantasy results. If Embiid sits again, Drummond offers excellent salary relief with legitimate upside. DFS players should closely monitor injury news before lock. Kasparas Giannis, Miami Heat. With Miami shorthanded, Kasparas Giannis has stepped into a meaningful role. He has seen increased minutes and usage, responding with strong scoring performances over his last 2 games. At a low salary, Giannis offers value through both opportunity and matchup. Facing a New Orleans defense ranked near the bottom of the league, he should again see chances to contribute offensively. For lineups needing cap flexibility, he stands out as one of the better value options on the slate. Final DFS strategy thoughts. On a slate this large, balance is key. Paying up for elite scorers like Anthony Edwards or Jalen Brunson provides a strong foundation, while injury-related value from Miami and Philadelphia opens the door for flexible roster builds. Cash game players should prioritize minutes, usage, and role security. Tournament players can take advantage of high total games and lower-owned upside plays to differentiate lineups. As always, stay alert for late injury news and starting lineup changes. With the All-Star break approaching, teams may handle rotations carefully, making last-minute adjustments even more important. Wednesday's slate offers plenty of opportunity for prepared DFS players willing to adapt and make smart decisions.